Okay, I think we can get started. One or two more people may join. So, hi everyone, good to see you all. Happy Monday. Lots happening, lots of exciting things happening, a lot of moving parts. So, I know everyone is extremely busy. So we'll try and keep this as short as possible. First, I want to hand it off to Sam just so we can introduce our new friends.
Hello, everybody. Let's see. Yeah, everyone can hear me. All right, so I invited Nora and Essa both to join us today because they're people who are joining us as independent contributors, putting about 10 hours a week in, working for us to help us accomplish all of the many different things that we're trying to accomplish. So first off, we have Essa. Essa and I met back in Wyoming when I was there, and she had actually already applied for an operations associate position. And so I brought her on to help us out for about, like I said, 10 hours a week. And so right now she's just helping with general logistics. So stickers, t-shirts, stuff like that, doing some kind of planning around some of the events that we have coming up, because as you all know, we are very busy in that field. And so these are just kind of the really short-term things. But as we get her up to speed, if you guys also have things that need to be done, remember her time is limited. Feel free to ping me and say, hey, does Essa have time to help me with this? The other person I wanted to introduce is Nora. Nora, am I pronouncing your name correctly? I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's Nora. Yeah, you're saying it
Nora.
right.
Perfect. So Nora knows Gabe, and Gabe we've been working with a little bit for some of the SF focused events and community engagement. But I'm bringing on Nora also for about 10 hours a week to help us with event planning. So as you know, we're starting to go bigger and bigger into our events. And so we need somebody who can bring us to the next level. You know, I've done conferences, I've done events, I've done a ton of different stuff, but I just don't have the time right now to really knock them out of the park. So even though Leo was very happy with our event this last weekend at the Elk Lodge, it could have been a lot better, right, Nora? Yeah. So she's helping us out. Right now, she's already planning. We want to make a huge splash at ETH Denver, but we're also looking at a whole bunch of other projects. So as she also gets up to speed, again, limited hours, but she'll be helping us out. So don't hesitate to ping me to say, hey, we have this event. Does Nora have some time? Or hey, I need a few admin stuff accomplished. Does Essa have some time to do things as well? So I just wanted to invite those guys. I don't know if they'll be here every week for our all hands, but I just wanted to make sure you all knew them and knew who they were. And so I invited them today.
All right, welcome. Good to have you both. Okay, anything else, Sam, while you have the mic? Any other updates from your end?
Well, some of these updates, I feel like I'm stealing some thunder because this is really Give and Victa's massive work. Aragon, which they have been working on for quite a while, is going live this week. I think Give is doing some personal testing on it today, and then I think it'll go live tomorrow.
Wednesday.
And then we're announcing Wednesday, right? But we can play with it on tomorrow.
That's right.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's exciting because we're going to kick off some really accelerated DAO processes with Aragon, and then we'll be moving to, of course, to bring on DAO House and Coordinate as well, which just exciting to see how fast things move. The other thing I just wanted to mention is, of course, the Incubator DAO is all elected, and so they've started engaging and creating their list of investors and finding places to put and take both ideas and creatives and devs, technical talents, and start putting them together. And so they're kicking off and they're doing a great, a lot of really good work. So that's exciting to see. The creative DAO, based on what they're talking about in the community forum on talk.harmony.one, looks like they are almost ready to have their election. So that's exciting to see about that also taking off, which means the next two that we're working on is going to be the matching DAO and the basic DAO. The matching DAO is more of a community appreciation DAO where let's say, hey, Give you did amazing work yesterday with the RPC tweet and all that work. Well, I'm going to recognize you by opening up a wallet for you, and everyone can donate. And then all of you guys donate. Let's say we all donate to give 100 tokens, and then the foundation would also put in 100 tokens. That's how it was discussed a month ago. Like, it matches the community gift to somebody that we highlight. And so that's what I'm pretty sure is how it's going to flow out as it kind of evolves. The basic DAO has the responsibility to help setting up and run timesheets and payrolls and things like that. So as you can see, the DAO-based infrastructure for our project, we're really close to having it fully operational, which is really exciting. So I'll pause there. Oh, one other thing that we do have going on right now is we do have a DAO hackathon that we are sponsoring with Aragon. But we have a couple of prizes in there for bounties. And I just need to get up to speed. I just haven't had time to get the latest on that.
Another thing I'll add to that is we have 2 grantees right now who are actually working on a timesheet and kind of invoicing tools specifically for DAOs. One of them is actually working on an add-on for Aragon. So that's going to make things a lot easier, managing tracking timesheets and payments without having to worry about using Google Sheets and things like that. So lots of exciting things happening there. Okay, thanks, Sam. The next thing I want to talk about is kind of our infrastructure. So you may have seen all the issues we were having with the RPC issues yesterday. A lot of our partners were affected by it. So Jack, can I turn it over to you to give us a quick update on what we did yesterday and just the overall update on Pocket?
Sure. So we had some all-time high problems, I guess. Around Saturday night, 11 p.m. Pacific time, or equivalent to UTC 6 a.m., we started seeing a number of big changes in behavior from the calls coming into RPC, meaning folks that are using their wallet more often or using the bridges and whatnot. The behavior started changing quite a bit, and that's caused latency spikes that happened for approximately 12 hours. And our Pocket network partners, in the middle of that, they were carrying a lot of the load, honestly. In the middle of that, or towards the tail end of that, they were also having some issues that they've identified and root caused and fixed. So they're a great partner that have carried us through quite a bit. And the latency is still sort of lingering on there, but we've root caused a lot of the issues and fixed it. Another couple of blips happened between the tail end of that event, which ended around 6 p.m. UTC or 11 a.m. Pacific time. The team worked really hard on both ends within the Harmony Foundation and also with Pocket to solve all that. If you want to take a look at what's going on live, we have a status page that you can go to. That's status.harmony.one. Any alerts that we get on our end, it will be posted over there as well, live and automated. So if you do face any issues with your wallets, your bridge activities and whatnot, go to status.harmony.one to see, hey, you know what? My funds aren't lost. Is everything okay? Is the backend systems having any issues? We're working hard to decentralize that and working well with that. So now we're back to a rather healthy state. Pocket Networks is decentralizing a lot of our RPC calls. In fact, the majority of the calls are going there, and community members are finding out about the Pocket Network themselves, and they are creating links through their MetaMask wallets, for example, to directly connect to Pocket Networks, and it's working beautifully. So I've checked it out myself. It's multiple regions and multiple clouds at the back end. And we hope there'll be, over time, we'll stabilize that going forward. Our plan is also to, by the end of the year, have at least another partner with us to decentralize our RPC calls, meaning that all of the bridge activities and wallet activities will be quicker. All of the DEX analytics and sushi related swaps will be quicker. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have at least 3 different groups, including Harmony, hosting the RPC endpoints, if not 4. So we're pretty much on track to have at least 3 different groups of decentralized groups of node runners to help host RPC networks. That's all for me. What do you give?
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, things are looking good. Pocket's been a really incredible partner. They jumped on yesterday on a Sunday. They joined our emergency meeting this morning. So they've been very, very supportive. I just wanted to give a quick update on our product launch dates. I'm not going to go through all the individual features and items, but I just wanted to clarify one thing. I'm getting a lot of messages, a lot of DMs, a lot of excitement around a lot of the projects that were set to be released because of the dates that we had on our open.harmony.one. I just wanted to clarify that, you know, those dates will move for various reasons. When you're working with a big project like BTC Bridge, there are security audits that have to be performed, right? These are very important. And while we may be feature complete internally, we're not quite ready to go live with those, right? We have to get the audits in place. We need to get the right partners in place. There's a lot of scheduling that goes. So this is for like the broader community who may be listening to this later on. Those dates will change. Don't be upset. We are working very, very hard to make sure that these features go out, but we also have to make sure that we release stable, secure products. So that's my update. Expect those dates to change. Wolf, you had a question?
Give, can we get that written up as a blog post, maybe Medium article, possibly, for anyone that might have missed it or that does miss it, because I'm sure
That's a
not
good
everyone
idea.
will get to see this. So
yeah, that's not a bad idea. We can work on that. So on that, I wanted to just get some quick updates on a few different projects. Obviously, the big one being BTC Bridge. Ganesh, you want to give us a quick update on where we are?
Sure. Let me share. We did revise the dates and our plan slightly. It's basically we're planning to launch in like 4 phases. Every Monday from starting with next Monday. Next Monday is going to be like an internal mainnet release with the selected partner exposure. We are going to limit the TVL, and we are going to run all the clients. It is not going to be open for the public yet. And we hope to finish all the pending tasks on testing, contracts. And this week we'll also ask our internal team to test the front ends and provide feedback on the user experience. November 8th, Monday, we plan to, that's when the audit actually begins. And we want to still aim for like first public release with the limited TVL, and again, the walls relayers must be run by Harmony. We cannot expose until November 15th for externals. So it will be run by Harmony. But this can be a first public release, and we can support it with some good campaign and market. So I'm planning this 2 weeks from today so that we can prepare some materials for the November 8th. At least 2 weeks is reasonable to plan something, right? To prepare something for the marketing campaign. November 15th is when audit, at least the first round of audit will be complete, and that's the same time we will hoping to have channeling price feed on mainnet. This is a must-have if for us to expose the walls and relays for externals. So that's where we will begin onboarding external walls and relayers, because right now we are confident when with the Chainlink price feeds available. In terms of security, we can start exposing externals into these, participating as walls and relays. And the TVL, again, I put some numbers roughly based on how much we are comfortable in terms of security. November 15th is when we start to externalize more and more. But somewhere around November 29, we want to allow like 1 week to try out at least how good the external participation is happening, and revise, set the fees, various fees in the bridge. All of which is going to be decided by the externals. That's we want to have this governance based mechanism to finalize some of the parameters related to bridge. And then finally in last Monday of November, we plan to have unlimited, remove the TVL limits and open it fully. And then after which participation from walls, relayers, externals will be all automated and without us provisioning anything. And that's where like I would say that's the current plan. And Yuri is also comfortable with this. So yeah, we are going fully all in this week to get a version running on mainnet next Monday.
Got it. Thanks for that update, Ganesh. So yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of moving parts. It's not just like a thing that we can push out. A lot of pieces to it. So which is why, like I mentioned before, we should expect dates to be more fluid because we want to do this right. Okay.
So I have a comment, Ganesh. So we are running the relayer. Any other components run by us? Any bytecode run by us?
This is until the price feeds become available, November 15th. We have to run all the infrastructures. After that, we don't plan to run any unless there's a limited participation and we kind of have to run, then we can run. Of course, we can participate. It's basically driven by the demand, right? Like if more BTC needs to be locked, then there need for more walls, and then there is need for more relayer kind of. So after the mid-November, like November 15, we will decide whether we need to run or everything can be run by externals. But there is no, there won't be any like security limitations in terms of we must run something. It's all like open public.
Okay, yeah. So my point is, if we need to run anything our service, make sure to have a Jack and Soph get involved so that we have a proper monitoring and also some simple runbook put there so that we will be able to recover if we have anything.
Yes.
Wrong. Okay.
Yeah, November 1st is when like we will start working with the Soph on like getting the infrastructure ready, because we have to support 2 weeks starting November 1st, the infrastructures, right?
Got it. Thanks for that, Ganesh. Rosa, did you want to say something? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you had your hand up. Great. So the other thing I wanted to just get a quick update on, Boris, I'm going to pull you in. 20% UBI. Could you give us a quick update on that, please?
Yeah, sure. Let me open it here. So
Pop quiz.
I was using one wallet to be able to get USDs so I can test. So that was done. Not this week, but last week. So now I started to integrate TerraBridge so I can actually get those USDs into Anchor. So TerraBridge is in this process of moving from into wormhole. So I don't know what's long-term strategy with us if we are going to Turtle Bridge or having our own wormhole, whatever. But in any case, I'm using their bridge to be able to get the USDs into Anchor. Regarding Anchor, I started we are basically using the same strategy as ETH Anchor that is based in a series of bots. So I'm already have a couple of the bots up. I've been testing. I'm around 25% of that, and also I've been using Ganache. Just I've been testing their contracts so I can make sense of exactly how they're doing, right? Because even though the code for the contracts is open source, the code for the bots is not open source. So we need to figure out how they do it, right? So I've been trying to make sense of what they're doing with the contract with their own bots. Basically, the bots, what they do is since they are not atomic. I mean, it's not like a one pass. They have the same issue we have, right? They have to bridge, then do one thing. They have several steps. So these bots keeps track of what is happening in each step. So that's what I've been doing. And so yeah, it's moving. It's a little abstract because the bots, I mean, they are not public, so we need to figure it out. But I have a good sense of the contracts right now, so I understand I've been to the contracts, so I think I'm fine. I think I'm on path to make it happen. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I expect to, if the bot things by a couple of weeks, I mean, I will be on time for these delivery dates.
Great. That's all I needed to hear. Sam, can you give us a quick update on the grants? I know, or Jack.
Yeah, we can. I mean, let's be fair. So this is a process that Jack and Giv and I work on every single day. But we also get, surprised is the wrong word, pleasantly engaged whenever like Stephen and Lee and the team go out on to events, because they meet people and they get really excited about what they're working on. And so they say, okay, yes. And then we get a message at 2 o'clock in the morning in our Telegram that says, hey, let's.
At least we can like give sort of like a overall highlight about what went through. Maybe Sam, you can talk about in general. What sort of.
So every day, what ends up happening is we go into this Airtable and we go through all of the various different grants that we've looked at. And to date, we have approved 43 grants for a variety of different sizes, most of them at $50,000. And the main thing that we always do is we go back to, let's take this one, for example, the Harmony Universe. So what happens is they come here to our talk.harmony.one page, and then they apply for a very specific type of grant. Once we see that type of grant, we'll bump into the 300, the Harmony/300, and we'll go through the details of each of these particular grants and find the pieces that fit. 9 times, well, not 9 times, let's say 7 times out of 10, we actually have to request for more information or highlight the fact that, okay, you're applying for a launch, but really you're a bounty or you're an investment. So let's correct that. In any case, the takeaway is we're going through this on a very regular basis. I'm trying to see if there's any other big questions. Jack, do you have something that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, maybe just in general, the last 2 weeks have been a little bit slower than what we like to see, but we did go through about 20-ish proposals and approved 12 of them. And of the 12, that totals up to be what the number that Sam was mentioning earlier, 37, right? That's approximately almost $10 million worth of grants that's on its way out. Of course, not all 10 million are given out like on day one. A lot of them have milestones to hit. You have for launches, you have to hit a testnet milestone before the first 20% of funds are released, and so on and so forth. Of the ones that we've seen coming through, they were really exciting. I have to say, I do get a little bit ahead of myself sometimes. Let me pull this out in front of me. There was some related to things that we've never seen, like payroll was one, and there was some institutional strength vaults that's in place. E-commerce was out. There was a bridge, some guy in the EMEA region creating a pretty fantastic bridge. It's going to be like Pangea all over again. If you guys OGs in Harmony, you'll sort of feel that. There was a lot of NFTs, NFT marketplaces. There's one storyline that's an audio video NFT as well. There's quite a number of DeFi, especially in the lending part, and stable coins. So those are much needed to grow the DeFi ecosystem, and really good to see like that coming online as well. And also another one that's a really high quality gaming that gaming platform that's an auto chess as well. That's going to be coming online in the next 6 months or so. And we're also in active discussions with investors to line up for those that are looking for investments, and Harmony is helping out as much as possible in that space. Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, good things happening there.
So Jack,
I have
a question. So you mentioned the 10 million already approved.
About that is 9 point something. Yeah.
How many
close to
projects?
10 million. The total number of projects that's approved are about
43.
It's 43.
Yeah.
So far 10 million already granted.
So there's a difference between approved and funded. 10 million has been approved, and that's actually fairly easy to get to if you think about what's been approved for Aave, Curve, Sushi, and things like that.
But
like I said,
Aave and Curve took what 7 million already. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. So the 10 million including Aave and the Sushi.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Curve. Okay, I see. So basically, we for the smaller project, okay, because I knew we only funded like a 50K or something. So that's
right, about 2 point some
from.
million, about almost 3 million. Yeah.
So are we doing it fast enough to give out the 180 million a year?
We are on pace. I thought it's 100 million. If it's 100 million, we're on pace. 180 million, we're not on pace. But yeah, 100 million, we're on pace. We're 10 weeks in. Is it? No, since September 9th. So it's only 6 weeks in.
Yeah, because I see that like the big partner like RV, Curve, and Sushi will bring a bigger impact. What's the other big partner in line?
That's a good question when it comes to the next big partner in line. One of the things that we've been talking about a lot is, okay, who are we going to go after next? Because these big ones are not just people who come to us, but they're also people that we go after. So if you take a look at, I think it's, was it DeFi Llama, which is where we want our top 10 list to come from. We're basically going to work down that top 10 list and see what we can swing.
And bear in mind, it's only been 6 weeks. We were so busy trying to create our work stream, set up our guidelines and whatnot. We're in a position now that I think the inbounds are still a little bit lagging. And we want to have more capacity to do more outbounds, but I think we're a couple of weeks before being able to do that. I think Lee and the folks that's traveling in Lisbon are helping out a lot with the outbounds. I think one of them is a security DAO. So that will help our ecosystem in terms of security audits. Think of it as like a pre-audit before the main audit will come around. I think that's one of the big things that could be coming down the pipeline. So we're not quite ready to actively go out as a committee of 3 of us, but they are coming. The outbounds are coming from the people actively traveling and networking right now.
Yeah.
Also seeing a lot of projects. Sorry, Sam. I was just going to say a lot of projects are just working independently, right? Deploying onto Harmony. We give them all the tools they need, right? So they can actually work independently. So Hummingbot deployed on Harmony, went live today. There was very little involvement from us. So that's exciting to see.
One of the other things that we're working on is now that we have enough of these smaller grants, what we have to figure out is how to make sure we do the follow-up. So we don't want to be giving a $5 million grant when we haven't kind of broken the mold on how we do the follow-up and how we do the verifying that milestones are done and all those details. So this is a good experience for us all to take baby steps while we're diving into the deep end of the pool. So I think we've got the approval process pretty much sorted, and now we're also working on the follow-up process that will be sorted probably by the end of the day, because Give and Jack are on it. So they always deliver on time, right, Give?
Well, we'll try. Nice. Any other product updates? Anyone else want to mention anything before we move on?
So for the cross-chain NFT bridge, I believe the bounty is about to be closed. The code is being merged, so it just need to be deployed. So I know like Yuri and Ganesh was looking to that. So Ganesh, when do you expect we can deploy the code?
Just 1-2 days we need to test everything. But this week we can do it actually.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, if you could just update the dates when they change, keep those up to date. That'd be great.
Yeah, we can plan something around it too. Like if you want to. I mean, a lot of users are excited.
Yeah.
I think that's actually so we can deliver that on time. So one more question, Ganesh. So I'm looking to create more bounty about the bridge, for example, with Polygon or with Avalanche, because I noticed that in the community people were asking for that. Do you think that makes sense to create additional bridge bounty?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can create, I can revise a little bit in terms of approach, but we will probably also need to have some partner bridges to expedite the process. For example, Polygon, Phantom, Avalanche, already AnySwap team is interested to provide bridge to those chains. Our own trustless versions, we can create bounties and get it completed by externals.
Our trusted version will definitely roll out after our own mainnet launch on the Ethereum, right? So I'm thinking about the current trusted version of the bridge. Does it make sense to have those like EVM compatible launch bridge?
Yeah. It makes sense to extend it to other EVM chains.
Right. Give, don't we have another bounty that's running right now for a cross-shard smart contract development?
That's right. Yeah, RJ, maybe you could actually provide an update on that one.
Yeah, it's with the third-party agency I was talking about, like the mutual system, mutual knowledge system. We're already talking about like a just direct contract with them, but later on we feel it's probably better to fit that contract into the existing our 300 million grant to become one of the grants, right? That's why we wrote that into a proposal, and then that's basically like a direct approval. So already approved that grant and already paid out like some of the initial payments for them to start. That's for the cross-shard smart contract design phase. And later on, we'll enter the implementation phase, and we'll see whether we work with them for the implementation or we do it ourselves. Yeah.
Got it. Good. Any other updates? Any questions
Here
about the roadmap?
Cross-chain API, the UI, I bought some pictures on the Discord. Is it's moving, so it's really, it looks similar to the Harmony Horizon page, but it's just cross-chain. Also, this week and talking with other guys, they seems to be taking our own approach. So I think we were not that far. So I think it's even more worth now completing this I don't know, this client, right? So yeah, is there the screenshots up there? I hope I will be able, I posted in my own Amazon account, so I will, I don't know, publish it or something by the end of the week. I've been working with this guy as a contributor in Colombia for the front end and he's working, you know, actually really good. So yeah, it's happening, I guess. I mean, everything seems to be agreed, and I will, as soon as it's ready for beta, I will release, and I don't know, I will try to get some promotion or something in Twitter. People know that they can actually swap from Ethereum to Binance, at least using the USD. So that's it.
Okay,
That's the update on that.
thank you. Rosa?
I wanted to build on top of what Boris just said, that we were chasing them for El Salvador for like more than a month and they were ghosting us. And today, out of the blue, this guy from Colombia came and told us, and we found that their sponsorship ideas were not exactly the right fit for us because of the requirement, like a B2B booth or things like that. But we really or strongly recommend doing something around that, not just because of the hype with El Salvador and Bitcoin, but it's more the attention with the first place in the world who there's a government willing to explore, even if it's a government or a person ruling that I don't like. And also thinking about the community and the people there, I think they deserve always like first world solutions and not always the same problems and not having access. So if we want to do like one harmony for everybody, I think diversity matters in a project more than some other people projects. So that would be my point to support Boris and El Salvador.
All right. Thank you.
I have one request. So, you know, towards the 100% decentralization of our network, one of the proposals to add external validator as a leader in our allow list. So I have the proposal on our forum, and right now we haven't get enough validator sign up to be the external validator. So one of the suggestions from the validator is that we somehow, how can we incentivize the people to be the external validator? So because right now in our protocol we don't reward any additional token for the leader, right? So one suggestion is we can dedicate the additional token from our foundation to those validators so that they get reward on that. So I may need to put a proposal into our own funding and the grant program as for that. Does that make sense, Sam and Jack?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go about doing it. Incentivizing these validators sometimes can be a little tricky. There are some politics that you are going to run into, obviously, with the validator DAO and who we're picking and winners and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if we want to fully decentralize, I really think it's important to get an external party being the leader, and we want to make sure it's a really, really good one. So
I was going to say the same. Like the validator DAO you should probably talk to the validator DAO council. Yep. And formalize like what Harmony is ready to fund, and then let the validator DAO discuss with themselves or with you.
No, this is not the validator DAO. It's not their decision. It's like a temporary stuff from the protocol level. It's not. I would ask for additional fund to support those validators become the external leader.
No, I get what you mean by that part. I mean, the selection of which validator is the, I think what Sam and I are talking about. To select
there's not enough interest. There's not like a lot of people apply. There is no one apply.
And Leo, this change needs to be compatible with some of the security evaluations. And did you write the detail about like what the change will be like? I think we need to work together to make sure this design is safe itself, right? Because you need to consider all of this voting power, like allocation and stuff. And there will be risk of like affecting the
Because
security or the liveness. So we need to be careful first. So it's not.
And because
yeah, we need to have the design first.
Yeah, and just quickly on this one, I think just to follow up on RJ's point, I think this is also in the ideal scenario, it should be a core protocol change if a leader has to be incentivized from the protocol, right? That was the initial thinking. This short-term benefit for an external validator to be a leader is more like a manual change. It affects the economic security, but the ideal path is really the leader node or the leader actually getting some extra percentage, which is a natural incentive from the protocol, right, RJ? Is that the...
Yeah, so things like without the resharding are right now, every validator can choose which shard they can go, right? And we already see that KuCoin is choosing all their nodes to be in shard 0. They basically, if we like not calculate the voting power carefully, they could totally just affect, they could influence the liveness of shard 0. Then that's not good for the network. So we need to consider all of these factors before we like are okay or feel comfortable going this route.
Yeah, so at least we need to go to shard 1 to 3. If not the shard 0, shard 0 we can like wait a little bit more longer time. But I don't see there's a reason we shouldn't do it on shard 1 to 3 because there are no like that's also a learning experience for us. So regarding to Sakhil's point, so we're not looking for protocol level change. That's what I said, right? So I'm asking for like external way to incentivize and give the people additional benefit if they become an external leader. It's not a protocol level change. Protocol level change, that's much more complicated. Just like a Ethereum tool, their block proposal gets the most of the block reward.
Exactly, right. I agree.
But that's not something we were.
No, I think shard 1, 2, 3 is a good idea for us to learn and get feedback from externals. But I definitely agree on shard 0. We have to think through all these potential, whether it's malicious behavior by a party who's gamified and probably is behaving the leader, can affect the liveness for sure.
Yeah, and we're also working with our research DAO, Dionysus and their team. They're actually also evaluating our current security and incentive kind of model. Right now, we're kind of in the middle phase, so it's not fully compatible with the fully decentralized incentive model yet. So for example, we don't have the leader actual reward, all of this kind of actual incentive to go fully decentralized. So right now, if we move too fast to the decentralization phase, you'll have security risk in the like very strict kind of evaluation manner.
Yeah, that's why Sphere right now is just like a allow list, kind of like a permissioned list. It's not fully decentralized. Yeah.
Yeah, let's definitely work together on some of the detail about how this proposal involves, right?
Okay. I want to make sure we have enough time for breakout rooms. Any other things you want to share before we go to breakout rooms?
Just, we're all traveling again next. Well, a lot of us are traveling again next week. It's New York City, NFT New York City. So for those of us who are staying home, thank you for keeping the keeping us alive, keeping the house not burning down while we are gone. So besides that, that was it.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week. See you all soon.